maybe 2018. So this is the 2019 part. Hindsight. Justin Timberlake. Yeah, it's about his life growing up in Memphis, Tennessee, and just real inspiration. This book, real heavy as well. TB12, Tom Brady's method, how to achieve a lifetime of sustained peak performance. Interesting book again, talking about his training methodology, which is completely different from what you would think, because he's a football player. Everyone thinks, you know, he needs to bench as much as he can, squat as much as he can, deadlift as much as he can, but he doesn't even do that. He does band training, which keeps his muscles supple, and then when it comes to impact, he doesn't. He can take the impact better when he gets sacked. Just a really interesting read. Michael Jordan, MVP and NBA champ. This is meant for kids, obviously. I mean, look at it. It's all glossy and picture-y and stuff. But some of these pictures I've never seen before. So that was really good. I mean, look at those Jordans. Yeah, Michael Jordan. Lucid Body, Faye Simpson. Coming from a dance background, kind of know how to move my body, but this kind of takes it to a deeper level for actors, where she goes into certain energies and chakras, different centers, different areas of energy. So you got the root, the sacral, solar plexus, the heart, the throat, the brow, the crown, and then finding the persona, finding the shadow, finding the child need, shape-shifting, the magic rearranging energy, active space, being an appreciative audience, creating a chakra palette. Yeah, in terms of movement, if you are stiff and don't approach the character in terms of physicality, this is the book for you. This was not recommended to me, but I watched the video, I think it was a Variety or GQ video with Winston Duke, and he recommended that book amongst other things, amongst this thing as well. So thank you, Winston Duke. Alright, bad as I want to be, look at that. Really gave me an insight, because this is an autobiography, even though it says with Tim Keown. It really, because look at the writing style, it really told me, because I hated Dennis Rodman. I thought he was just so rude when I was growing up, but in actuality, now I admire him. I really thank him, because he was who he wanted to be. He was who he needed to be. He didn't apologize for shit. During his NBA career, he just did what he wanted, and if people judged him, and the one thing that people think that he does is he does drugs, and he hates drugs. He doesn't do drugs, but people put that upon him. So that for me, that made me realize, you know what, people are going to say things about me, good or bad, but I'm still going to be the way I'm going to be. I'm not going to let what someone's opinion of me, good or bad, affect what I need to do. And Dennis, if you're listening, just want to thank you. And if I ever do meet you in the future, just want to not sign this copy, because this is admittedly a second-hand copy, but just, you know, let's go have some lunch and just talk about shit. Let's talk about Carmen Electra, I don't know, whatever, man. Just talk. Let's just talk, man. Thank you, Dennis. The Art of Always Being Right. Interesting book. Don't remember much about it, but how to kind of steer the conversation in your way. It's got lots of tactics, basically. So in terms of being an actor, this is a way to incentivize the person that you're having an argument with to come to your side. The Art of Always Being Right. Total Recall. Or Total, not waste of time. That would be totally thick book. Look how I was shocked at certain things, and not shocked because you see YouTube videos and stuff. But the most shocking part is the second to last chapter, where he reveals he was unfaithful. Let's put it that way, and he has an illegitimate child. I would not have thought he put that in the book, but it's a really good read if you like success stories, if you like Arnold, if you like bodybuilding. It doesn't tell you much about bodybuilding. He's got another book about that. But this, for me, was a real eye-opener. It took me a while to read because look at it, it's 600 pages. It is his whole life. So, yeah. Oh, yeah, my man. Bachelor Pad Economics. If furthering the red pill idea, if you're unsure, this just tells you that, not a waste of time, but if you want to get into a relationship, you need to know what you're getting into, basically. Not just relationships, but just life in general. So the chapters are Leaderless, Guideless and Adrift, Philosophy, The Basics, Education, Career, Entrepreneurship, Girls, Housing and Lodging, Cars and Transportation, Maintenance and Repair, Investing and Retirement Planning, Wife and Kids, Legal, Economics, End of Life Planning. So I read this out of order because I knew that I'd get stuck on certain chapters. So I marked off which chapters I read, because you can kind of dip in and out of this. I wouldn't say it's a guide, it's just a kind of reminder that things like if you get divorced, you're going to end up giving half away. Is it really worth your time getting into a relationship when you could be doing so much more? Buying that fancy sports car, who is that really for? Is that for you, or is that for other people? Showing other people that you don't care about, and they don't care about you, that you're making it in the world. It's about how to economize. It's about how to maybe buy secondhand shit. And if you need transportation, you don't need to buy a new car. You can always buy a secondhand car because people are always selling secondhand cars. Yeah, so it's an eye-opener book. If you're young and you don't really know what your life is gonna entail, and maybe you don't have a father figure, it's not a like if this happens that happens. It just kind of goes into a bit of experience as well. Tells you about taxes even, but yeah, good book. Check it out. The Gold Standard by Mike. You try and pronounce this name. No? Okay. Krzyzewski. How do I know that? Because that's what they say on SportsCenter. This is the gold medal. Look at them. They're all happy. Gold medal journey, right? And that's how much they appreciated the coach. They put all their gold medals on him because he was the key. This is after the disappointment in Greece. They then came back, man, in Beijing, and it was amazing to just kind of see from the coach's point of view, exactly what they needed to do, and how everyone kind of bonded together to realize that it wasn't about them, it was about their country, that this was in a way kind of going to war. Really, really good book, really interesting read. Yeah. Mike Krzyzewski. The Wiznod series. This one's falling apart. So you got the books of Rain, Twig, Cash, Pino, and Lab. Written by Wesley King. Really interesting cover. Mine's a bit damaged, but you know, swings and roundabouts. Wrong phrase to use, but it was a bit that was peeling. There was a bit that was peeling off. Anyway, children's storybook, but similar to Being from the Mind of Kobe. Really interesting book because it's from these 5 guys' point of view, individual point of view, on I think it's high school basketball team, or even junior high school basketball team. Fiction. Don't remember how I read this, but I managed to read it. 500 pages. So I guess I know what it feels like to read Harry Potter books now. Alright, next. Confessions of a Yakuza. This one was a slog, because it was kind of boring in places, but I think it was a slog because it was translated, right? It was translated. So because it was translated, some of the things didn't make sense. But yeah, there were some scenes in here. I didn't make notes, but I always felt I'll come back to this someday and just make some notes. But it was a good autobiography, I guess. Shit, it cost that much. Senni Haruko Juliet. Okay. Just kidding. Toughness by Jay Bilas. So it just talks about mental toughness. More for a sports perspective, what it takes to have that mindset to be the best and to work your craft and to put everything else that's out of your control, outside of control, just don't put it in your mind. Defines toughness, defines what it means to be tough. So, toughness defined: trust, preparation, courage, communication, persistence, next play, commitment, acceptance, resistance, self-evaluation, hope. Defining toughness in college hoops. The chapter that stood out to me was next play, where say, okay, you obviously your intention when you're going up on offense is to score a basket. If you don't score a basket, then if you dwell on it, you're not going to focus on defense, which is the next play. The next play is you're not on offense anymore, you're on defense. So this next play, you want to stop the opposing team from scoring a basket. If they do score a basket, are you going to let that dwell? And then when you're on the next play, which is your turn to have offense, is that going to affect you mentally on your offense? And that's what some players have. They hold it in their heads that the previous play is going to affect the next play, which is completely wrong, because the next play is a brand new thing. And that is inspirational because in terms of acting, a take is a take, is a take, is a take, right? And if one thing was good but another thing was bad, the director's going to tell you to adjust. You can't recreate the moment, and you can't let the previous moment affect the new moment, because otherwise you're just repeating, right? You're not actively living. So in terms of sports, when you're on the next play, just focus on the next play, or focus on that play, because the previous play is gone. It's in the past. You can't do anything about it. I hope I explained that well. I didn't explain it well, but I hope you understood that. Raise Your Game, Alan Stein Jr. I got this because it talks about Kobe, talks about how to raise your game, how to really focus and how to get out of a slump if slumps ever exist. So chapter breakdown. Chapter 1 is okay. So because if it's a triangle, it's a three person relationship, which is between the player, the coach, and the team. So the actor, the director, and the crew, if you like, or cast and crew. Okay. So part 1, player: self-awareness, passion, discipline, coachability, confidence. That informs me as a player / actor to be self-aware, to be passionate, to be disciplined, to be coachable, and to be confident. Part 2, coach: vision, culture, servant, character, empowerment. I think this talked about Kevin Durant. If he wanted to be given a nickname, what nickname would he have? And he said the servant, because it's not about him. He does what the coach tells him to do. And that's an all-star. Not being in it for stats or anything, or headlines, but being in it for the team and being coachable. So from a coach's point of view, they're looking for vision, culture, servant, character, empowerment. In part 3, the team itself. So everyone needs to believe in belief, unselfishness, role clarity, communication, cohesion, the first step. So role clarity, you may not be the superstar, but you're still part of the team. You still have a role to play. So in the production you're doing, you may not be the headlining act, you may not be the main protagonist or whatever, but you still have a role to play in the story. Yeah. Raise your game. Retro tech. The nostalgia nerds. Retro tech. It goes into everything. I mean, some of these consoles I've never seen in my life. Okay. Yeah. And it goes into the good and bad as well. It's like Atari 5200. It goes into must see, a must play, and a must avoid. I love that. Really clean book. And it goes up to 6th gen, I think. So I've got Xbox here. I don't think I've got PlayStation 3. Yeah, I've got PlayStation 2. So it goes up to Xbox. Yeah. So if you think that computers suck now, computer games suck now, check out this book. They sucked back then as well. The Otaku Encyclopedia. This guy's got another book, which it's called the Moe Conspiracy or something. Moe Manifesto, excuse me. It goes A to Z about, those things that you thought, oh, what does that mean? Like, let's go for N. I'm sure they've got Nia in here. They don't have Nia. Fuck. That was a bad example, wasn't it? So, it has little mini interviews as well. Tells you certain things. Can't remember how I read this. I think I read this cover to cover. But it was an interesting read. From a Gaijin's point of view, how he interprets Japanese culture. Yeah, good book. Fun book. The Rules of Acting. Michael Simpkins. He has another book called What's My Motivation, which is no follow-up, but this is not a famous actor, but like a working actor's start from RADA up until, not present day, but maybe 10 years before present day. Michael Simpkins, yeah, so it really told me about, like, if you're not going to be like a superstar actor, like a A-lister, what kind of acting gigs can you get? How do you get an agent? How he got his agent? How certain things happen with him. Making movies, Sidney Lumet. Excellent book. Tells you movie making process, start to finish, from his point of view. And this is back in the days of film, when you couldn't fuck up, basically, and you couldn't reset a fucking train, right, moving from A to B, because the lighting issues and stuff like that. Here we go. Digital minimalism. My copy's a bit dusty. Well, okay, so I think on eBay, or excuse me, Amazon, the cover's a little bit different, but it's the same book. Cal Newport, Digital Minimalism. Let's read the chapters. Foundations. A lopsided arms race. Digital minimalism. The digital declutter. Practices. Part 2. Spend time alone. Don't click like. That was a good note for me. So what I'm doing now is I'm going through all of YouTube and just unclicking my likes. So I'm unliking shit. Reclaim leisure. Join the attention resistance. Conclusion. So it's only 2 parts. It tells you about digital minimalism and why people are so addicted to their smartphone and how much time it takes away. So just imagine all the time that you spend on your phone, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok, whatever. Imagine all that time and summarize that, and then imagine you putting that time into something that you wanted to do. You would achieve it twice over. That's what my takeaway from this book. Really good book. I pre-ordered this book because I really appreciate his work. Can't wait until he writes a follow-up for this, because he did experiments in this book as well. He took away people's phones, asked them if they felt anxious, when they felt anxious, and then after a while they just kind of, you know, sat back and didn't realize the color of the leaves and shit like that. So digital is good, but you need to minimalize it. You need to be able to step away. Oh, this book was heavy. Tokyo Underworld. It was a fucking slog, man. I got through it. So it's a Yakuza book, basically. And it took a while to read. That's what I'm going to say. And this pamphlet on the Yakuza, I love it. Look at it. Good book again. And that's my list for 2019. Alright.